Our meeting, if we would, Rose.
Roll call for the city council meeting of Wednesday, April 15th, 2020 at 7:30 p.m. Ms. Allen, Mr. Brennan, Mr. Brzezinski, Mr. Keys, Ms. Shaw, Mr. Witherspoon, Mr. Winarski. Please rise for a moment of silent meditation and pledge allegiance.
If we could please remember who recently passed away from by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
liberty and justice for all. Approval of minutes for the meeting of March 18th, 2020, and bills for payment on March 27th, April 3rd, April 10th, and 17th, 2020. Ms. Allen, Mr. Brennan, Mr. Brzezinski, Ms. Keys, Ms. Shaw, Mr. Witherspoon, Mr. Winarski. Now, since there's no citizens to be heard and no repository sales, you want me to go right into ordinances?
Sure.
Okay. Council File 16153, official ordinance number 9, 2020. An ordinance appropriating the sum of $50,000 from unappropriated and unanticipated revenue for the expenditure thereof, a contribution for the improvement of the police central operations area. By Mrs. Shaw, Mr. Brzezinski, the council file ordinance bill number 153, announced official file ordinance number 9, 2020, and finally passed by the city council. Ms. Allen, Mr. Brennan, Mr. Brzezinski, Keys, Ms. Shaw, Mr. Witherspoon, Mr. Brennan. City council passed official file number 9, 2020 by yeas 0. Okay. Council File 16154, official ordinance number 10, 2020, an ordinance appropriating the sum of $10,000 from appropriated and anticipated revenue for the expenditure thereof. Contribution is from the Erie Community Foundation Helping Today grant. By Mr. Winarski, second by Mr. Brzezinski, the council file ordinance bill number 16154, and now known as official file ordinance number 10, 2020, be finally passed by the city council. Ms. Allen, Mr. Brennan, Mr. Brzezinski, Mr. Keys, Mr. Shaw, Mr. Witherspoon, Mr. Winarski. City council passed official file ordinance number 10, 2020, finally by yeas 7, nays 0. Ordinances for first readings. Council File 16155, an ordinance of the City of Erie, Erie County, Pennsylvania, authorizing and directing the execution and delivery of a guarantee agreement with the Erie Parking Authority and compliance with provisions thereof, approving issuance by the authority of guaranteed parking revenue bonds, series of 2020A, and guaranteed parking revenue bonds, taxable series of 2020B. The 2020B bonds, the 2020A bonds, and the 2020B bonds together referred to as the 2020 bonds, in an amount not to exceed $23,500,000, repealing all inconsistent ordinances, directing the proper officers of the city to take necessary action, and further directing that this ordinance shall take effect immediately.
I would like to, Tim Sennett's on the phone. So Tim, would you be able to explain in lay people's terms what this means so that they know what action we're taking? I know you aren't the solicitor for the parking authority, but could you just sum it up in easy to understand terms? Hello?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry, I was
Okay.
muted. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So what this ordinance does, it allows the parking authority to issue bonds for basically three purposes. The first purpose is they want to refinance some old bonds, the 2010 series and the 2015 series and the 2016 series. The purpose of refinancing those bonds is to lower the interest rates on the bonds with new bonds and therefore create debt service savings over the life of the bonds, just like you would refinance your mortgage. You would go and refinance it for a lower interest rate, creating savings. At the same time, they also want to take those debt service savings and use it towards the capital improvement projects that they have going forward, about $4 million worth of capital improvement projects. And they include infrastructure and lighting renovations to various parking garages, the K garages, the Q, the Bs, the Ds, and the Es. Also modernizing the garage elevators for various parking garages, upgrading the parking system technologies and camera systems in various parking garages, and paying the cost of issuance of the bonds. So that is the goal of the issuance of the bonds. What the parking authority is asking the city council to do is to guarantee the issuance of those bonds. However, these bonds would be self-liquidating, meaning they would be paid by the revenues generated by the parking authority. And so they're considered self-liquidating under the Debt Act. So it would have no adverse effect on the city council's ability to borrow money going into the future. So that's kind of it in the summary.
Thanks, Tim. One of my concerns is that I know that, or I assume revenue will be down for the parking authority because of the shutdown. And again, I don't think this is your bailiwick, but David Brennan, you were at the meeting yesterday, and I know that these infrastructure repairs are very much needed. You know, a lot of us from council went on a tour months ago with Chris Friday, and he showed us the elevators that aren't working, the cracks and everything. But David Brennan, is there any concern about, I guess what I'm thinking is kind of two things. At least there will be money saved on interest by the refinancing, but is there any concern about us being on the hook with revenue possibly being down? And I'm not trying to make a problem where there isn't one, but I just so that we're informed as to what we're doing.
Yeah,
Any thoughts, David?
Yeah, I attended the meeting yesterday to hear the executive director's report and ask some questions. You know, we had a Zoom meeting, of course, but it was there's less revenue, obviously, you know, without having, the transient numbers are, of course, dropped. And they're okay financially right now, but I do know, that the executive director noted that if this continues, of course, there might be some issues if it continues into June. So there is some concern, but right now they're okay with everything that's going on. The staff is still on the payroll. All staff have duties that they're taking care of, so they're moving day by day, but they're fine right now financially.
Okay, thanks.
And just one additional point, based on the debt service savings, the debt service payments that the parking authority is going to make going forward do not change. So there's no, even though they're doing a capital project, because they're able to provide the savings, there is no adverse impact to the debt service they're paying over time. In fact, it's actually decreased, especially in the first 3 years.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What if we change the amount of money that parking authority puts into our pocket during the time of the budget? But are we still fighting over how much money parking authorities may give the city, or is that part of this agreement?
I think that's still under discussion.
I could address that if you want me to, Mr. President. Yeah, there was a meeting several weeks ago, a brainstorming session with the administration. Of course, the mayor's here also. We had a discussion, and we're going to what things weren't finalized, but we're having another brainstorming session that's coming up in the near future. It's not scheduled yet, but we're hoping to do that as soon as possible to resume the discussions and try to resolve some of these issues to make sure that we're we're all working together.
Appreciate that. I know that's going to be a bit of an issue throughout the year. I know the administration's working hard to together in writing that we can move forward on have this lab with the parking authority. But, this does not affect any of the city's monies into this. It's actually a win situation from what I look at it as. They're just refinancing bonds that we've already passed at other council meetings. So they're actually saving some money to help pay for their infrastructure. Actually, it's a smart move on their part.
Okay. By Mr. Keys, second by Ms. Shaw, and City Council file ordinance number 6155. Having been read, is hereby adopted on first reading by the City Council. Ms. Allen, Mr. Brennan, Mr. Krasinski, Mr. Keys, Ms. Shaw. City Council read by Dr. Council ordinance number 16155 by 8780 on first. That's it.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Do we have any separation this evening?
No,
Hearing none.
okay. Voting to move the balance, Ms. Allen, Mr. Brennan, Mr. Krasinski, Mr. Keys, Mr. Shaw, Mr. March. We do have two rules tonight, Mr. President, a couple of late entries from the EPD. Late rules, number one, Ms. Allen, Mr. Brennan, Mr. Krasinski, Mr. Keys, Ms. Shaw, Mr. March. By Ms. Shaw, second by Mr. Krasinski. Resolved by the Council of the City of Erie that the mayor and other appropriate city officials are hereby authorized to enter into agreements with individual homeowners being awarded city home buyer rehab project funds in which the city will provide up to $24,990 rehabilitation cost, down payment assistance, and closing costs to each qualifying homeowner. The total funding allocated to this program is amended for the year 18 plan is $136,758. Allen, Mr. Krasinski, Keys, Shaw, Mr. Sorry, Dave, this is an old resolution and your name wasn't on it. And rules number 2. Voting by the rules, Ms. Allen, Mr. Brennan, Mr. Krasinski, Mr. Keys, Ms. Shaw, Mr. Witherspoon, Mr. Winarski. By Mr. Shaw, seconded by Mr. Krasinski, resolved by the Council of the City of Erie that the mayor and other appropriate city officials are hereby authorized to enter into an agreement between the City of Erie and Mrs. Amalia Rasulova pertaining to the city home buyer rehab project in which the city will make available up to $24,999 for rehabilitation costs, down payment assistance, and closing costs for the purchase of property located at 635 West 36th Street, Erie, PA. A check will be issued to Ms. Rasulova and her counsel, attorney Barbara Wellman, to be presented at the closing. Ms. Allen, Mr. Krasinski, Ms. Keys, Ms. Shaw, Mr. Witherspoon, Mr. Brennan, Mr. Winarski. Those both passed 7-0, and that is the end of what I have.
It does bring us to committee reports. I know, some of us did, get to Zoom to different meetings or whatever, so we are going to, have our committee report. Alan, if you're out there, if you would like to.
Yes, I'm out here. One of the things I want to say is that it's not easy to hear the people in chambers. That's not a committee report, but it's just something that should be rectified. Or my hope is that next time we'll all be on Zoom instead of doing this hybrid.
I think it's the echo of the chamber. That's what it is, with the microphone.
So we have an echo chamber?
Yeah.
To use a cliche. I've never been an echo chamber. But yeah, I couldn't hear what Ed Brzezinski was saying. I couldn't hear what, I could barely hear what Jim Winarski was saying. I could hear what Kathy Schaaf was saying.
This is trial and error with some of this, and we can learn from it naturally, and hopefully this will phase out before it goes farther in. So I don't know if Mr. Brennan has any comments. I know you said you did you're involved with the parking authority meeting, and mainly it had to do with restructuring bonds.
Was there a question? I'm sorry.
Anything else to say?
Oh,
Were we going on, the census appropriated money?
I didn't see it on here. Maybe they decided to pull till a later date, but we did not have it on this agenda. Or I'm thinking, I don't know if they extended the date for the census to be. Yeah, I believe so. So maybe, I don't know if the mayor knows that. Renee was looking for some extra funds
Yes,
on this agenda, but did not make it.
I thought it was in there under contracts. Isn't it there? It should be there under contracts.
Oh, it is, sorry.
Okay,
yeah, Angela and O'Neill
that's it.
for
But you
40,000.
can approve it.
Mal, you have anything to say this evening?
I'm good with it.
I'm sorry, I want to go back. Did we not have any citizens? I know Freda had emailed us a question about the city's burn ordinance. Was that something that she wanted us to address at a city council meeting? Does anybody know?
You just got that one late this afternoon, Liz, and it's something we have to check into. You're fired?
I had talked to Freda on the phone a few days ago. I asked her to email that to me so I could forward it to you. And when I get back into the office on Friday, I'll take a look at those ordinances, and I'll let you know what I find from there.
Okay, but that's really the only, we didn't hear from any citizens who wanted to be heard at this meeting. Is that because of the clunky technology, or do we just not have anybody who wants to speak at a meeting? Does anybody know? I have two concerns. One is, I think we should be doing this as efficiently as possible, and we should also be striving to make sure that citizens do have a voice somehow. So it just is unusual that we don't have anybody asking us any questions, but.
I honestly believe that at this point, just the state of the society and the city and everything, things have just come to a halt or slowed down a little bit, where people put some priorities ahead of other things, and maybe it just got a little quiet for the citizens to be heard under the council. And I'm sure when we get back to regular a regular meeting. I'm sure we'll see our visitors as we did before, but that's the only thing I can explain is because I haven't had many phone calls either, to be honest.
Okay, I did just get a Facebook message from Art Leopold that he too is having a difficult time hearing. So I hope that we can fix that before our next council meeting. So he thanked me for bringing it up. I do, that's why I think that Zoom would work better, because I think the audio is very good on Zoom, and we don't have to have people being physically present and allegedly social distancing. I say allegedly because I saw one council member get up and go close to another council member, so I'm pretty adamant about this. I'm not in charge though, but.
They could always bring their computers in and participate from.
Exactly.
They could bring the
Yeah.
computer. Participate.
This audio is so much better with Zoom. I could hear David perfectly. Could hear Mel perfectly. Ed Betza hasn't said anything, but I bet you we could hear him. We could hear Tim Sennett perfectly, the mayor. But the people who are actually in council chambers, it was hard to hear. So if you want to be in council chambers, at least bring your laptops and log into Zoom.
And there may be an adjustment that can be made. This is all trial and error for nobody has ever been through this before. We are trying here. Documents, I appreciate everybody's cooperation and participation. I'll give you my thought. We have a 500,000 or 5,000 square foot chambers here. If I thought there would be a distancing issue or anything like that, believe me, we would have tried other options, but still documents need to be signed. We haven't been in council for having a meeting in over a month. So things we still have to get some business done. Documents do need to be signed.
There is such a thing as an electronic signature. How do you think the rest of the world is operating? The other thing is, does everybody have their city council laptop and paid for by city council? That's what David and I are suggesting. Bring your laptops in and then you can get on Zoom and then maybe we can all hear you. It can still be broadcast, but at least we would be able to hear you and citizens would be able to hear you. Does everybody still have their laptops? Do you use it? If you don't, maybe in this time of fiscal uncertainty, they should be turned back in.
I do agree, Liz, with what you're saying, but at the same time, Zoom is not a perfect answer because at times I've been thrown out of Zoom and had to go into it back and forth. And sometimes when I am on Zoom, there are some people that cannot be heard.
Mr. Brzezinski, any other comments?
With these strong winds and the high water today, rest assured the Port Authority is right on top. There are some problems with the access areas for the public. The folks are working on it. Everybody knows what's going on. So we'll find out that nobody can come and fix the problem because people can't work right now. So right now, I think the best thing you can do is just have a temporary closure on that area where it's normally public access. Once it's prepared, of course, they'll be back to where it should be. They are working on it. I'd like to thank my neighbor, Mr. Scholler. I wear this when I'm out in public walking around, not at a meeting here, 8 feet away from my hood. I don't drink this stuff, but I keep it clean. I take it seriously as well, I say. And worry about the homeless, worry about people being really sick. The prayer tonight for those seniors, those kids that will never have a year because we had to close those schools. The athletes that won't be able to run track, play baseball, do the myriad things that you want to do, the proms, All those things. Those are one-time things for these kids. Maybe I'm an old teacher or no counselor or whatever, but my heart goes out to those kids. Other than dying, everybody else is going to be resilient. We're going to make it through this. But those kids will never get their senior year back. And that hurts me terribly.
Mr. Keys.
I'd just like to make a comment that the hashtag "We Are All in This Together," and we're going to do the best we can for the city during this time of trouble. And nothing's going to be perfect. I hope that I'm close to the mic, hoping that my voice is amplified and that it can be heard to the Zoom. And I think that, you know, it's important to the city officials to be seen, even in time of trouble. We're going to do our best at distancing ourselves, and we don't want to make this a problem. But I think that people look to their leaders when there's times of trouble, and when we're not there, I think it's a little disconcerting to the public.
Thank you. Mayor, do you have any comments this evening? Mayor, do you have any comments?
Yes, I'll be very brief, but I just wanted to say that one of the most important things we're looking at outside of COVID-19, which is the most important thing that we're dealing with right now, but we have a really opportunity to improve our budget if we can get the water authority to prepay their lease and reduce our deficit significantly. And we'll give you all the details and numbers over the next couple weeks. Paul and I are meeting with the appraiser to talk about what they're doing. The issue is they can't come to Erie now to actually look at the water authority. They have crunched all their numbers, gone through things, and I think they've come in with a appraised value a little somewhere between 400 and 500 million. They have a couple different ones they've been showing us, and we'll get an explanation on that Friday when we meet with them. And then I will be probably doing small sessions with City Council so we can talk about it, present the numbers, and I'd really like to see if we can get a decision on the prepayment before rates go back up, while we can still get, you know, about $101 million to pay down debt instead of 90 million, which would have been if we had done it back in last year in December, what we'd have gotten. So we have an opportunity here to really solve one of the city's major financial problems. And I just wanted to let you know that we'll be working with you a lot over the next couple weeks to answer questions, go through it, make sure you understand it, and hopefully we may be able to vote on this in 3 weeks at your next meeting. Thanks very much for being here. Keep up the good work.
Mr. Mayor, may I ask you a question? Feel good? Yep. If we're going to be leasing the water authority situation, then may I submit that means we don't need to worry about an appraisal? If anybody needs an appraisal to get their funding, might be the water authority, not us. We're not selling. So if we're not selling, all we're concerned about is getting our money from that upfront lease. You follow my logic or lack of some? Let's move on, is what I'm saying.
Can I remind everybody that the financial consultant recommended that we get the appraisal? If we start disregarding the financial consultant's recommendations, let's just throw out all their recommendations. I also had asked a question a couple of weeks ago about when that RFP went out for the appraisal, because the appraiser went to spring training in Florida instead of coming to Erie to get that done. So I want to know what the timeline is, please.
There is no timeline.
I asked Paul Lichtenwalder and I did not get an answer as usual.
You just got a letter from the state as an appraiser. Appraisals cannot be done right now until the moratorium is lifted or whatever.
The guy went to spring training before the moratorium.
So with that being said, Mayor, he did come back with some type of appraisal, yes or no?
Yes, I think we're gonna have an appraisal to show you over the next couple weeks. The only thing it's lacking is them coming here and actually viewing the different parts of the water authority. So we're hoping that you'll be comfortable enough to at least give an okay to move forward with the prepayment of the lease. And they will still be coming once COVID-19 restrictions are lifted. They'll still be coming to actually look at the various areas of the water authority as well.
Thank you.
So I'm hoping over the next 3 weeks, we're able to come to an agreement and get council to approve the prepayment of the lease so that we can get that $101 million, pay down debt, and really secure our financial future.
All right.
But you'll get that information for me about when that RFP went out or was approved, and then that's all I want to know is why the guy went to Florida instead of coming to Erie. Sorry to be a pain, but I want to know.
Yeah, I don't know, so.
Well, find out for me, please.
Michelle?
I think Paul has the answer to that. I think it was already addressed.
I think he does, yes. Paul, I think, has answered it, but I'll check with Paul.
I just want to say that in these times, we're all different. And because we're all different, we experience and have different feelings on everything. And as a whole, because we are all different, we're not all 100% happy about anything. But what I have learned is from my grandmother who had passed away, and she was a survivor through all of the ages of depression and everything else in her life that happened to her, because she was able to be flexible and flowing. And so in these times of change, we need to adapt in the best ways that we can. And I like to look to the positives, and I want to thank everyone, the first responders, everyone who goes beyond their call of duty. And I am thankful this week for the people who were behind the We Got This Erie campaign, because I shared it as much as possible. And my brother, who lives in Maryland, got back to me and said, gee, it makes me want to live in Erie. And things may not return to be 100% the way they were, but I get out and walk every day, and I wave to people in cars, I wave to people in windows, I talk to people across the street, and that's what gets me going. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very well taken. Well, I think that's going to close it for tonight, unless you have something to say, Rose.
I do not.
All righty. Thank you
Mr. President?
very much.
Thank you.
Hello?
Mr. Allen, Mr. Brown, Mr. Krasinski, Mr. Pease,
Mr. President,
Hello?
hello, Dave's trying to get you, Dave. Jim?
Yeah, I had, you may have asked me earlier, Mr. President, but I had a few quick comments. I'm sorry, you may have asked me already. Sorry about that. I didn't hear you earlier.
All right. I mean, we did adjourn, but go ahead with your comments. You're more than
Okay, sorry about that. It just took a few seconds. Just from my parking authority meeting, I did want to say also that about the enforcement, you know, again, we're still not enforcing the odd even, and also day week parking. So that continues, and also we're still, but we are enforcing the too close to the hydrant, stop signs, that continues for life safety, of course. And there's no meter lot reinforcement on Friday and Saturday. And also, the last thing for the parking authority is their website's being redone. If anyone has gone to their website to look for information, right now it's not functioning, and they're going to get that redone. So that's it for the parking authority. And I also just wanted to say a few quick comments about the COVID-19. Of course, we're all challenged by everything that's going on there, but I just want to thank all the essential businesses that are out there, and our firefighters, everyone, but especially our healthcare workers that are on the front lines. It's incredible the work that they're doing. But please, everybody, continue to follow the mitigation methods by the CDC. I think we all owe each other that support. And just lastly is trying to buy local. I've been trying to get food to go as many downtown restaurants as possible. They have gift cards available, and also you can shop online. So if we can do our best to keep that our local businesses going, that'd be wonderful. That's it. And sorry about the late entry here.
Trial and error, that's what we're doing here, but that's all good. Thank you, Dave.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Hey, Liz, don't forget to send me that email.
Okay, I'll do it as soon as I log off, Mel.
Thank you, my friend.
Okay. I can't wait to see you sometime in person to see the beard.
Okay, I'll even let you touch it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sounds good. Bye.
Take care. You be safe, my friend.
You too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. I got to figure out how to log off here. Oh, that. Well. Do, 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 do.